Wednesday. And since it's Wednesday, that means that Alyssa and I are back with you today to talk about topics related to workplace wellness. Good morning, Alyssa. Nice to see you again.
Good morning, Linda.
Hi. And so today we are talking about investing in wellness. And then you can take this from, a couple of angles. One is company investing in their employees, in the health of their employees, and offering sort of wellness programs. But I also think it's important to talk about it from the perspective of the individual and how much they are investing in their own health and wellness. So let's start by talking about the organizational component of wellness programs, perhaps. Is that something that many companies are incorporating now, Alyssa?
I think they are. They are incorporating more programs. One of the most popular ones that I've seen in my HR career has been EAP programs, employee assistant programs, and that can be counseling type of services. It could be even legal services, financial services. That I think is one of the most popular. I've seen different kinds of benefits now that employees, based on employee surveys and needs, I see that a lot of companies have become more creative. Now, something that I've seen too is that there is more access to applications that are offered in the workplace for offer some kind of like exercises or maybe getting to meditation, mindfulness, those type of things that are more on the mental health side. Now, I do have an opinion about applications, but we can talk about that later. But one other thing that I wanted to mention is that when I was researching this topic, I found a very interesting statistic from the World Health Organization. And it is that for every dollar that it is spent on wellness, there is $4 on return. So that was very interesting. So yes, I think organizations need to invest in wellness. Now, is it wellness programs or is it like a wellness strategy? That would be a question.
Well, yeah. I mean, so obviously it makes all kinds of sense, really, for organizations to invest in employee wellness programs, in terms of employees' health, stress levels, productivity, and ultimately it benefits the company financially, as you've mentioned. And I wonder how, well, I guess it depends on the company and it depends on the type of program they offer. I wonder if there is sometimes a hesitance from employees to take up these employee wellness programs or to participate. I wonder if maybe there's a sense that it will be perceived as some kind of weakness, or they're getting to know more about them, the individual, than the person really wants, or that somehow this is going to impact their career future. I don't know. I may be making all of that up. I just wonder if there can be a component of that, and so some people might be hesitant to.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And in the research that I was doing and reading more about statistics, I found something very interesting, and it came from Deloitte, and they reported that there is still low engagement in this type of like applications and programs because employees felt that they may be judged, or there may still be a stigma about using this type of resources, like you're self-identifying yourself like you need help, and that may not be as appropriate, or like it doesn't. So it says, the research said 2/3 of employees skip these programs due to the barrier like stigma, complexity, and time constraints.
Yes, I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. So from that perspective, then it's important for the company or the organization to be clear on what's involved and what it means for a person when they do take advantage of what's offered in an employee assistance program, and confidentiality um, being paramount, and making sure that people know they're not going to be judged or in any way assessed on when they reach out. Actually, because often we've talked about this before, but it can be perceived as weakness to just, oh, I don't have it all together. If I need to go and ask for help, that means I somehow will be judged for that will be judged as a weakness. And I always think, whether your organization offers this kind of program or not, it is really up to each individual, I think, to make a decision about whether they are willing to invest in themselves. And I don't just mean financially, it can mean financially, but emotionally, energetically, physically, in terms of time. Because even though it's of benefit to the organization, it's of extreme benefit to each individual, because when they invest in their own health and wellness, and they reach out for and are willing to receive any help or support that they need, that pays dividends throughout their life. It's not just about managing your work and progressing professionally. Anything you do that benefits your health and wellness is going to benefit you personally. It's going to benefit all of your relationships. It's going to improve the quality of your life generally. So I think sometimes there's a sense that, the company should provide everything that we need. And maybe they do, and maybe they don't. But if they do, then you need to take advantage of that. And if they don't, then perhaps you need to think about that for yourself. What is it that would benefit you? And really invest some time and energy in deciding what you need. Or comes back to self-awareness, as we're always saying. The more you know yourself, the more you know what it is that you will need, and ensuring that you reach out and receive the help that you need. Sometimes it's not weakness. I think we need to change this mindset that asking for help in any way is weakness. It isn't. I see it as a great strength.
Yes. And I think it's important, especially this month, the month of November is open enrollment for most companies, where they are hosting meetings for you to know more about the benefits, the changes in benefits. So it is the right time to ask questions and to really understand what benefits you have. Sometimes employees don't even know exactly the amount of benefits and opportunities that they have available to them. So it is an invitation also to look into that, to ask questions about what's covered, what's not covered, but take advantage, because your company invests on this type of programs and it is for you. So if you don't use it, then we don't know if they are going to continue. That's the other thing. The other thing that I like to add is that with this type of programs that companies add, sometimes there is not follow through in regards to combining this with more of a conversation or incorporating this to the culture that the company wants to drive. And it is very important that it's not only something that you access through your computer and you do it by yourself, but it will be so beneficial if managers or employees that are part of internal organizations that promote wellness, they can do some type of challenge, they can do some type of like a lunch and learn activity where they get together and they work on this together. Because when there is this sense of community, when we work as a group, we're better able to support each other and to have accountability. And then there is also discussion about promoting that psychological safety that we want to have in the workplace, promoting work-life balance, promoting all kinds of an environment that supports this type of practices. So that's also what I wanted to add, that it's not only just, oh, here you have this application, you have access to this program, but what do you do with that type of program? How can you promote it in a way that employees feel engaged and they feel like, okay, I can I'm not alone. I can do this with my coworkers, and find other coworkers that resonate with the type of maybe exercises or maybe different breaks that these applications offer.
Well, and it really is of value to do things together in a group, but sometimes there are people who don't like to do
Yes.
group things. And I think it's important, if that applies to you, to inquire, to find out, to learn about what might be available to you individually that you could do sort of one-on-one. It really comes down to knowing yourself again and what works best for you. And I know many times people will say, well, I'm just too busy. I don't have time to look into something like that. I don't have time. It's seen as one more thing that you have to add to your plate. One more thing I have to do. But the thing is, if you don't make time for yourself, if you don't make yourself a priority, you don't make time for yourself, your health, your well-being now, there will be a point where you will have to. And really, you don't want to wait until you have to, because then it's so much harder to, you talk about burnout a lot, Alyssa. It's better to prevent burnout than it is to try to recover from it, right? Yes. And you might think, well, that doesn't apply to me. I'm just busy. I think every single one of us needs to pay attention to our health and well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically. We need to really pay attention to that and make it a priority in your life, because if that is not a priority, it will be made a priority at some point.
Yes, your body sooner or later will tell you in a very, very, very direct way, to the point that maybe you're not able to you may need to take a full day to recover, or 2 days, because you get sick.
Yeah.
So yes, it is important. It's, even if it just you do 5 minutes every day to do something support your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, even if it's just taking 1 minute in between meals. I'm sure I'm gonna guarantee that it makes a difference. It
makes a huge difference. Yes, you've got to learn to incorporate these things into your day. And like you said, it can be as short as a minute. I mean, even if you took 10 seconds, 30 seconds, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, if you took 10 seconds, 30 seconds to just stop, pause, breathe, reset, and then continue, that's something, which is a whole lot better than nothing. And if you do that on a regular basis, it will make a difference for you. But the key is, I think what we're saying is that not only do organizations need to make health and wellness a priority, but the individuals do too. And I would also add in there, if you are a manager or a supervisor, I think it would benefit you and your team, whoever works you're supervising, to really educate yourself on what's available and ensure that you are someone that your people can come to talk about what they might need, so that you can point them in the right direction. Again, you might say, well, I'm too busy for that. I've got too much on my plate. It's going to make your job a whole lot easier if your employees are healthy and fulfilled and feeling great and supporting you because they know you will support them. I would, if I was a manager or supervisor, I would make sure that I knew exactly what was available, made sure that my people knew what was available, and made sure that they knew they could come to me to ask anything or talk about anything that they needed to support their wellness. So just some thoughts.
Yes, yes. And we do have a comment here.
Oh, we do. Lovely. I love comments. Let me see. I haven't seen that.
MD and Mia. She says, this sounds like a fantastic event. I'm excited to learn.
Yes. There we go. I'll put it there. Thank you very much. Yes, it is. It's such an important topic. It is something that we need to pay attention to, every one of us. And if your company is not doing it, or if your company offers something and you don't know what it is, make the decision today. You're going to find out what's available. And as we keep saying week after week, self-awareness is the most important thing. You can't don't ever expect somebody else to know what you need.
Yes.
Because, very often people think, well, can't they see that I'm overworked, I'm overwhelmed? No, maybe they don't see that, because if you don't say anything, if you don't speak up for yourself, people tend to assume that you're happy with the situation, you're happy with what's going on. Yeah. So it's up to us as individuals, and you can step up if you are a manager, a supervisor, a business owner. You can step up and ensure that this is something your employees know about, take advantage of, and the happier, so many studies have shown the happier and healthier the organization, and when it comes from the top, then the more productive the company is, the more successful the company is. There's no downside to this, right? There's only benefits. So that's what I just wanted to share. Okay, so we are out of time again. So we'll wrap it up there. But for next week, we're going to talk about change. Change happens a lot, especially now. Companies reorganize, all kinds of things happen within organizations, which can mean a lot of change and uncertainty within the workplace. So we're going to address that a little bit. And I also wanted to let you know that coming up, beginning of December, we're going to be, for anybody who's interested in a discussion about this, if you are a manager, a supervisor, or an individual or business owner who has an interest in wellness at work, especially, we're going to be hosting a roundtable discussion where we can talk about more in depth about these topics, what we're covering here. So we will be sending out invitations to that. And in the meantime, we will say goodbye for now, and we will see you next week, where we'll be talking about change.
Excellent.
Yes. So thank you, Alyssa. And I will look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes. See you next week.
Okay. Bye, everyone.